practice Warrior One with the back heel on the wall. So set up as you see here, the right foot forward and the left heel on the wall. Square hips, feet about hips width apart. Hands on hips, lengthening the waist. Lift your arms up overhead. Lift the low belly to lift from underneath the heart, to lift from under the collarbones. Keep lengthening up through the arms, and then bend the right knee so the knee comes directly over your right heel. And press your left heel into the wall. And see if you can square the hips. Pull your right femur back to pull the outer right hip back. And let the left hip come forward so that you find yourself more square, but keep your back thigh engaged so that your back leg is very straight. And bend the front knee forward and then lift the low belly to lift the rib cage, to lift the arms, spread the hands. Make more space between your thumbs and your back heel. Pull the outer right hip back and towards the midline. And then inhale and straighten your front leg. And exhale, push your back foot off the wall to change sides. And now bring the left foot forward and step your right heel back onto the wall. Make sure that your feet are hip width apart. And then square your hips, left hip back, right hip forward. And then lengthen the sides of your waist up. Let your shoulders go back. Lift the whole rib cage. And then stretch your arms up, pulling the thumbs back, stretching the pinky fingers up. And keep pressing your back heel into the wall as you bend your front knee deeply. And then square the hips again, pulling the left femur back. Lift the low belly. And then lift your rib cage three-dimensionally upwards. See if you can find a deep internal ascension through the front of the spine. And continue that lift up through the armpits and through the extended arms, strong and straight in the back leg. Back heel presses into the wall, front knee reaches forward. And then inhale and straighten the front leg. And exhale your arms out to the sides and down. Hands to hips, and step your feet together to recover. And now we'll do a version of gate pose at the wall. So place your sticky mat against the wall as you see here, and then spread your blanket out on the mat near the wall and sit on your shins. And then lift your left arm up and place the whole left side of your body very close to the wall, standing up on the knees. And place your right foot down on your sticky mat so that your right foot is even in front of the line of the left knee. So that right leg is a little bit in front of you. And then start to side bend away from the wall. Press your left hip into the wall. And then lengthen the whole side body up and over to the right. Press the right foot down. Press the right elbow into the right inner knee to keep that knee open. And stand up tall on your left shin. So don't let the buttocks go back and down, but rather pull the buttocks forward and under you. Lengthen your spine and then side bend more to the right. Lift the buttocks up and under you. Press the left hip into the wall. And then inhale, get taller and come out of the pose. And then stretch your right leg out for a second variation. Make sure that your heel is a little bit in front of you. And then start to side bend towards the right foot. Again, keeping the buttocks reaching forward and under you, standing tall on the left shin. Stretching the left side body up and over. Right hand resting on right shin. Parigasana, like the latch of a gate. Take your body up and over to the right. Open the left ribs to the ceiling. Let the abdomen recede and lengthen. And then inhale and come all the way up, letting your left arm come up against the wall. And then move away from the wall as you lower onto your shins and take a rest. And then spin around for the other side. Stand up on your right shin and press your right foot down. Make sure your left foot is a little bit in front of you and the left knee is open. So the right arm is going up the wall, and then connect your right outer hip to the wall and start to side bend over to the left. So that left elbow is pressing back into the left inner knee to keep that knee open. Scoop the buttocks forward. Lift the front of the pelvis up. Lift the low belly. Lengthen your spine. Get longer and then go more to the side. Anchor your right hip to the wall. Anchor your left elbow to the left inner knee. And then open the right ribs and go more over to the side. Scoop the buttocks forward. Stand tall on the right shin. Lengthen and go deeper. Open the right ribs to the ceiling. Lift the low belly. Press the left foot into the floor. And then inhale and come up, walking the right arm up the wall. And start to straighten the left leg, flexing the foot. Foot is very alive. Scoop the buttocks forward so it's really under you, and then start to side bend left. So make sure it's not a back bend, but rather it's a true side bend. So let that left buttock drop down and under you. Scoop the tailbone forward. Lengthen the trunk and go to the side. Left hand on left shin. Right hip pressing into the wall. Open the right ribs. Long arms, long spine. Scooping the buttocks under you. Standing tall in the right shin. Deepen your breath here. And then inhale and come up, right arm against the wall. And scoochie yourself away from the wall. Sit on shins and recover. Now we'll do a quad stretch with the wall, and you need a blanket and 2 blocks as well. Please fold up the blanket as you see here and place that folded blanket on the sticky mat and against the wall. And then sit on your shins directly in front of that blanket with your back pointing towards the wall. And then have the blocks underneath your hands alongside your body. And inch yourself back so that your feet are up on the blanket and your knees are still on the mat. And then as you see here, place your left shin against the wall so the left knee is on the blanket and the top of your foot is pressing against the wall. And then lean into the blocks with your hands so that you can place your right foot between the blocks. So that front leg is in a front leg lunge position. And start to pull the whole sacrum forward towards the front heel. And kick the top of your back foot into the wall. Make your hips square. Pull the outer right hip back and in. Think of squeezing your hips from the outer to the inner. Gather your hips towards each other and lift your low belly up off of the pelvis. And as you lunge here, think of the front of the pelvis lifting. Think of the kidney area, the back of your rib cage, the lower back ribs lifting and spreading. Bend the front knee, square the hips. Gather the hips, lift the low belly, let the tailbone move in, lift the frontal hips, lengthen the spine. And then move the blocks forward a little bit, bring your front shin down, and then bring your back shin down, and we'll switch sides. Now bring the right knee onto the blanket. Lean into the blocks and step your left foot between the blocks and kick the top of your back foot into the wall. Pull the outer left hip back and in. Squeeze your outer hips together and lift the low belly. Lift the front of the pelvis. Lengthen all the way through the spine, through the top of the head. Spread the back bottom rib area. Lift the front of the pelvis again, and then sink the tailbone forward and in, deeper into your body, bending that front knee. Enjoy having those blocks to support the hands and the arms, to support your upper body. Again, gather those hips together, square and gather the hips. Low belly lifting, front of the pelvis lifting. Sink deeper into the lunge. And then come out of the pose, bringing the front shin down and then the back shin down. Hands on thighs. Breathe here to recover. Now we'll practice downward facing dog with hands on blocks. So bring your blocks right up against the wall at about shoulder width apart. And start on your hands and knees, heels of the hands coming right over the edge of the blocks. And start to lift your buttocks way up and back. Lift the heels to make your legs taller. And pull the inner thighs and the outer hips up and back. Pull the back surface of the sacrum up and back away from the lower spine. Pull the rib cage up and back towards the pelvis, away from the push of the hands, which are pushing into the blocks. Let the head release down. Let your center thighs pull back. Let your inner heels pull back. Lengthen through the armpits and the waist. And again, focus on those outer hips pulling back and squeezing towards each other. Also, the inner thighs and groins reaching back strongly as well. Thigh bones pulling back. Thighs internally rotating. Elbows extended, head releasing. Fingers spreading. Breathing here. And then bend your knees to come down and rest. Now we'll practice legs up the wall pose. Have a blanket nearby, that will be for your head. And sit down so that you're very close to the wall, so that one side of your body is very close to the wall. And scoochie your butt even closer to the wall as you lay your spine down and reach your legs up the wall. So the buttocks is very close to the wall here, and the backs of your legs are resting on the wall, heels resting on the wall. And then adjust the blanket so that the blanket is supporting your head. And relax and release here. Shoulder blades settling down the back. For a moment you can keep your toes active. Be very present here, deepening the breath a little bit. Smoothing it out.